Happy Hour with Derms. I'm Dr. Melissa Levin, and this episode is inspired by, sadly, a new condition that I have. It's called melasma.
Dr. Robert Finney here, and not to say I told you so.
Okay, Mr. Bartender, you picked the drink.
I did.
It's inspired by this unwanted pigment on my face.
Called a dark and stormy with dark rum,
My
ginger
mood?
beer, lime juice,
My mood
your
is a
mood,
pigment.
all of these things. It just happened to work out well, right?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Dr. Marie Ledger, and Dr. Finney, you were being so harsh on Dr. Levine here. Let's break down melasma for us.
Let's do it.
But
Let's
first,
cheers, right?
Let's have a drink.
Savage.
Dark and stormy.
Yeah.
Cheers. What's melasma?
Well, I think a lot of people are like surprised when we say you have melasma because they've never really heard of it, but it's actually super common, way more common than people realize. It's much more common in women, and it's much more common because it happens around hormones.
Exactly.
And so we see it if you're on birth control, we see it if you're just a woman, and especially pregnancy.
Yes, UV light makes melasma worse. People really flare in the summers, even if they're wearing hats, even if they're wearing sunscreen. Summer is a tough time for people who are prone to melasma. Even visible light can make melasma worse.
Let's not forget about the males.
Are you feeling left out?
I do. And all of our male patients that have melasma will also be feeling left out if they hear that.
Male melasma.
Male asthma is definitely something that we want to shine a little light on.
So a lot of
Come on,
times,
you gotta call me out on that. No light on melasma. Bad term. Bad term.
the dad jokes are coming back, guys.
So let's tell people what it looks like.
Melasma is usually on the center of the face. It's often on the cheeks. It's often above the upper lip. It's often on the forehead. And unlike freckles, which are often individual little spots, it usually tends to be a little patchy.
You can also have melasma actually off the face.
Yeah, I mean, it can pop up on the shoulders, it can pop up on the arms, sometimes on the back. That's more common in our menopausal patients. But also some of our male patients have off-face melasma that we see.
There are a lot of different treatments we can use for melasma. What is your go-to favorite?
I mean, a gold standard has to be hydroquinone. Applied
100%.
topically, it's something that we can get very affordably for our patients. We can compound it in a way with other great ingredients to target hyperpigmentation. It's something that really can reduce pigment quickly. It should be used in short spurts, 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, or 8 weeks on and off. And it's something that if used poorly at high concentrations for too long, can actually cause pigment that comes, and we're trying to treat it, so nobody wants that.
Effective, proven, safe, but in the hands of a dermatologist who's guiding you to use it.
Exactly. Exactly. Another treatment that I really like for melasma are retinoids. We use them all the time in dermatology. We use them for acne. We use them because they stimulate collagen.
Little hearts, little
So
hearts. You guys.
good.
We love
We
retinoids.
love them. They help other medications penetrate better. They can be a little bit irritating too, but for the most part, they can also be super effective, especially in a combination regimen with other products to really help with melasma.
So I love hydroquinone, I love retinoids, but probably my favorite is tranexamic acid. It's a newer medication, but we have so much data behind tranexamic acid that people who don't respond to topical treatments like hydroquinone or retinoids, then oral tranexamic acid. We have great treatment options.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Levine, you mentioned that melasma gets worse during pregnancy, but are there safe treatment options?
So I think a lot of our patients think that if they're breastfeeding, if they're pregnant, if they're planning pregnancy, they can't treat anything. But that's totally not true. We have options for you. One of my favorite is cysteamine. It's a great topical cream that we use that actually blocks all these different pathways of pigmentation. So it's really effective. The one caveat is that it's really stinky.
It's super stinky.
It smells like rotten eggs. But you only have to do it for 15 minutes and you can rinse
And
it
the new
off.
preparation doesn't smell like rotten eggs anymore. One of my favorites is azelaic acid. It helps with congestion, evening out texture, it blocks pigmentation, it helps with acne, rosacea, inflammation. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
That's my Swiss Army knife, you guys.
That's fruit ninja, alright? It does nothing amazingly, but it does a lot of things good. So
Yeah.
that's one of mine. What about you?
So, vitamin C is pretty good for melasma.
Yeah.
It's good for
And
all
scurvy.
kinds of things.
And
It's
scurvy.
good for scurvy. It's good for everything. It's a great antioxidant. It really helps a
Are you a
lot.
pirate?
Arr. Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's right.
We have some other things too, not just vitamin C. Kojic acid is pretty good, licorice extract. There's so many different botanicals that can also block the tyrosinase pathway that can really kind of help.
Bottom line is that there's so many options, and the most important thing is that it has to be a combination.
Yeah.
Right?
But a lot of patients try to treat it themselves and they make a little bit of a mess. So a lot of the products out there that are sort of sold as for skin lightening or skin bleaching are pretty dangerous kinds of things. So you definitely kind of need some guidance with that.
Guidance is definitely helpful to create a concise routine that is going to help, prevent in the morning, repair in the evening, and accomplish the most out of the best ingredients that we have for it.
Guys, I came up with a game about in-office procedures for Melasma. And the
Sounds
name of
like
the
fun.
game, I know. The name of the game is, so you went outside, you forgot your sunscreen, you forgot your hat, and your Melasma flares. So now what? And the winner gets this bucket hat.
This slightly warm,
Slightly
warm.
used. The first clue for the first office procedure is minimal downtime.
That's most of our
Yeah,
procedures for
everything.
Melasma, so that's
Way
not
to
a good
narrow it
clue.
down.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Okay, second, needs a series of treatments.
that's all of our
Oh.
Melasma treatments.
Okay, the third clue is this procedure allows for the effective penetration of topical.
Blaze MD Ultra.
You're such an overachiever.
Correctly, Blaze MD.
I think we go to the tape. She's probably reading. Yeah.
I'm not reading the answer.
Penetration. Wait, we don't even know if it's right.
She said
because that could be a peeling agent that could be going into the skin. We
Am
don't
I
know.
right?
You're right.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
tell us about this procedure.
I
Like it.
Yeah, hold that up for the people.
Bring it back. No, look at my guns. Look at my guns.
Yeah, there's something close.
Okay, you guys, serious. It's one of our most effective lasers. It's super gentle. It's a resurfacing laser that not only treats pigmentation, but also kind of turns your skin into a sponge. People think their skin's a sponge. It really isn't. You actually need to do a lot of things to make it actually deliver ingredients into the skin. So ingredients like transexamic acid, platelet-rich plasma, vitamin C. So we get to treat pigment, but also deliver ingredients more effectively.
The first clue. This in-office procedure
Yeah,
is
yeah,
actually
yeah.
3 entities in one, and it also needs a series.
Entities.
3 components.
Oh.
Oh,
Trying to be
I
quick.
Chemical
I know that
peels.
too. I've just
Chemical peels.
well, gestures specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So peels are great because they treat kind of pigment in the upper layer of the skin. We call it the epidermis. So melasma can be kind of complicated. You have pigment on different layers of the skin. Sometimes we pair it with LED light.
It's kind of a lost art, right? I mean,
It
it's
really
something
is.
that used to be used a lot in dermatology before we had all these fancy devices,
Mhm.
but melasma is still one category where we can't use all of our fancy devices.
Very true.
And it was safe to do. It's not going to deliver heat or energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it can still target that pigment. So
I would say slow and steady wins the race.
it does.
Okay, very good. I have one more in-office treatment.
Okay.
Okay,
This
so
is
the
for the bucket hat.
clue. This is for the bucket hat.
We're tied right now.
This is a relatively new treatment approach to melasma that targets a vascular component.
Okay. Wow. You don't want to say it? I don't want to say
I'll give it to you.
it. No, I don't want it. You want it.
Do I want it?
Yeah, say it.
Okay. The Derma V.
Yeah, you have to wear the hat now.
You tricked me.
Joke's on you.
Okay, so explain Derma V. I want to wear the hat.
Yeah. So there's an inflammatory component to melasma. Oh wow. Your head is way bigger. Derma V is a vascular specific laser because in melasma there is an inflammatory component, there is a vascular component, and it's something that we're doing more research on the best way to target those blood vessels and the inflammation without kicking up melasma. And the way that our new laser is able to do it, we're able to do it at lower energies, less heat, and something that can work in conjunction with peels or with the laser MD that we already talked about.
Bottom line is that sometimes we don't know how people are going to respond. So we have to learn what people's skin does with different in-office treatments.
And prep people with melasma for the fact that it's a longer course, right?
Mhm.
We're committing to treating it. We're never going to cure it. It's something
Never.
that we need maintenance. We need good skincare. And when we treat it with procedures, whether that be peels, devices, it's slow and it's something that we can't do all at once. So, it's just something that we'll be forming a great relationship to target your melasma. Take a voice from me, prevention, right? We are not going to cure melasma no matter how good we get.
That's
Well,
true.
At least at this point, there's hope for the future, right? But really, we want to focus on good skincare to prevent as many flare-ups as we can, knowing that we're going to lose that battle, but at a minimum, using a gentle cleanser every morning, a vitamin C serum, a mineral-based sunscreen every morning, and then something that's going to target pigment in the evening, like a retinol or tranexamic acid, kojic acid, and a moisturizer to repair the barrier of the skin. So prevention is absolutely key. And another one I like to throw in there for all my melasma patients is Cispera or cysteamine. 3 nights a week, it does smell.
Little stinky.
That's not my brother.
My take-home points are that I think melasma seems to be best treated in bursts when it flares.
Totally
So
true.
like a burst of hydroquinone, carefully monitored with your dermatologist, a burst of tranexamic acid, even if you want to be a little bit more aggressive with the cysteamine. I mean, melasma waxes and wanes, and we definitely have all kinds of things that we can use to address it when it's flaring.
Love the prevention, the good skincare routine. Love this burst because people get frustrated. Their melasma gets worse, and they're like, "Ugh." But the burst component is really important. For me, my take-home point is that you can come in office and we can do treatments. If you need to clear your skin up faster, we can help you out with lasers, really light lasers, chemical peels. Maybe you have a little bit of vascular melasma, so we can get that under control. But you still have to do your maintenance. You still have to do the burst treatments, and that's really what we have for melasma right now. So cheers to
Cheers.
that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Dark and stormy,
Dark and stormy.
Stormy.
just for now.